All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing for Wednesday, April 12th. According to Verizon, it's 5:34, so we can get started. My name's Doug McGibbon. I'm the Special Magistrate. The first thing I'm going to do is swear everyone in. We'll do this multiple times as strays wander in later. So will everyone please raise your right hand, say I do when we're done. Does everyone swear or affirm that the testimony they're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Everyone except Umbrella Guy. Okay. Um, Most of our cases this evening will either be fine assessment cases or violation hearings. In those cases, you have hopefully given your name to the clerk and they have pulled your files. When you hear your name, you're going to go up to that podium, identify yourself. The village will present its case. You will get to question their witnesses and put on a response, and then I get to make a decision. That flips when we get to the fine mitigation hearings on the last couple of pages. Those people have been through the violation and fine assessment process. They're asking for relief from their fine, so they get to go first, and then the village gets to respond. I think I've hit all the highlights. Take it away, Village of Royal Palm.
Thank you, sir. Amity Barnard, village attorney, Starting on page 1 of the agenda, fine assessment hearings, case 22-1464, 2073 Reston Circle, Andrea L. Jambeck, Manweiler, and Terrence J. Manweiler.
Okay.
Margaret Hancock, Code Enforcement Inspector. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information. And Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. All right, how do we have service here? Is this posted, signed, whatever?
I gave it
Okay.
to them already.
Oh.
She says they're up
you
there
got the
with you.
affidavit. It's sitting right here. How nice. Okay, so are we docked? Are we undocked? Did we have permitting issues on this one?
Yes.
This was Indian
Yeah,
Trails.
That was the Indian Trails issue.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything's,
always fun.
everything's gone. Everything's gone.
Well, no, they have an affidavit of
It complied. It was out for 3 days, but if we could get his name for the record and get the documents in. Your name, sir?
Oh, Terrence Manweiler.
Thank you, sir. Those exhibits I handed you, those documents are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Do you have any objection to those documents?
I'm sorry, I didn't. No.
They're
no
the notice
objection.
documents for tonight's hearing.
They're
The
fine.
photos are on the screen.
Yep.
Verification of ownership. Thank you, sir.
okay.
This was out of compliance for 3 days, so the fine is $75 and not continuing.
All right, so you got everything out. Unfortunately, you didn't tell them in
I
time.
didn't know I was supposed to tell anybody.
Yeah, here's something for everyone in the room.
I
There's
took
one
everything.
there's one bold part of my order, and I don't do it this way, but they do it. And it says, when you finish doing what you're doing, you need to call code enforcement to get yourself an inspection, because it doesn't really count until they can show that you've done it. And I've literally
I
had,
only thought this was the hearing that I could tell that everything was completed.
yeah, unfortunately, you didn't get to that part, and I'm trying to finish my story. So I've actually had people work on these things right after the meetings. You know, I've seen them on my way home because I live over in La Mancha. And but still, it only counts if you call. Now, you may want to come back for a fine reduction hearing,
Okay.
just to prove when it happened. Do you have people that could come in and testify that said, I helped you take this
I
out?
removed everything.
Well, do you have anything that can show what date you did
My
that?
15-year-old son can come in. He helped me.
That's fine. 15-year-olds are competent in
Let's
my world.
to avoid additional expense. Let's just enter an order assessing no fine.
See, look what I just did for you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
Thank
No
you.
fine order is granted.
Thank you, sir.
And that's also because I remember him coming in with all these problems with Indian Trails that weren't really his fault.
Next, we're going to page 2, 23-0001, 500 Royal Plaza Road, AMG Business Enterprises, LLC.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, is anyone here for 500 Royal Plaza Road, AMG Business Enterprises,
Thank you, sir.
LLC?
Can you go to the
There we go. Just want to make sure it doesn't pass you by while you're waiting.
Oh, that's fine. No.
That's okay.
Hi, I'm Vincent Kiefer.
All right. Vincent something.
Vincent
Mhm.
something.
And we'll get it in a minute. I'm very good at that. Steal your pen. right, sir, could you give us your last name again?
Kafer, Kafer.
And what is your role with AMG Business
We're,
Enterprises?
we're the architects for the
Oh, okay.
for the
Architect.
plan review and everything.
Okay, so we have a return green card. I accept. I guess that is service here in our world. And someone tell me about it.
Well, if they were supposed to be in compliance by 3:30, and they didn't get the permit, they need to do a site plan modification.
Did you have any objection to the documents? Sir, did you have any objection to those documents
No, I
that
didn't.
Supervisor Walker handed you?
Yes, we submitted the site plan modification.
That's
Hold
not
on,
an
just
objection to the documents.
the documents. Any objection to what
documents
she
that
showed
I
you?
Oh, yes, yes.
You're okay with those
Yeah,
going
I'm
into the
okay.
record?
You're
Okay, thank
correct.
you.
Yeah, I'm
All
sorry.
right, the documents are admitted without objection. So we have a site plan modification that's necessary. I take it you're going to tell me
Yeah.
about that. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we submitted the site plan modification plans and application, and it's been like a 20-something days ago, and it's under review. I checked today to see if it was out and approved, but it's still under review. So I have no response from the planning and zoning department. Although I'm going to have a Zoom meeting with them tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and I will have a chance to ask them.
So
about it.
just a little clarification there. There's a bigger project that's going on that site as well. So he's correct. He's on the technical staff review agenda for tomorrow, but that's for a bigger site plan modification to incorporate newly purchased acreage that his client bought from the village. I don't know. I think you did it as one complete application, correct?
5 applications.
Right. So the work that they were cited for code enforcement is part of that site plan application, but they're months away from being through the full process. This is their first TSR submittal. Again, this work that was done in violation of the code was not part of the expansion of the facility. It was just done for whatever reason without the getting the site plan modified prior to doing the work.
Okay, so
Yeah, may I add something?
sure, go ahead.
This application we submitted for this case, it's not going to go to board meeting, public meeting. That application is going to be reviewed by the staff.
So you have a minor site plan. I don't
It's
see
a
those. So
minor.
you have a
It's a
minor
minor.
site plan in too.
We had to split in 5, and that's why we split in 5 and not putting everything together. Otherwise, it would take a very long time. So this one, I expect let's say by tomorrow, they might say, yeah, it's approved, you good, or you just have to modify this here and there, and I'll do in a week or so, you'll be fine.
Okay, so that's
Normally,
that's good to know.
what it takes. It's a small thing. The other 4 are the biggest thing. So.
And you have drawings of what you have here? Because like the roof that they have over the top of this chain link fence, that's not going to meet any kind of building code. You won't ever get a building permit for that.
It's a metal it's a metal roof panel. So as far as we understand,
Do
it's
you
fine.
have engineered drawings on it though?
Yep, we do.
You do. Okay.
Okay, so
I mean, we have the fence, we have the roof cover. So
So
No,
given,
but
go ahead.
I'm saying, I don't mean that, does the product have the engineer approval? Do you have drawings showing that it can be used in that application?
yes,
Okay.
full drawings are there.
So given where they are in the process, and given that there's still some time, the village would be asking for this fine to start running. Once he gets through the process and complies, he can certainly come back for
Okay.
fine mitigation. But it's been out for 13 days, so we're asking for a fine of $325 and continuing.
all right, so hopefully this is at $25 a day, right?
It
That's
is,
a
yes, sir.
13 days at 25 is
Yep.
sort of the norm. Hopefully you'll be through the process in another week, and you can call the code enforcement office and tell them that you've gotten your approval for your minor site plan modification, and then they will stop the fine from running, and then you can come back.
Yeah, I just put a note down that I have to call her
Yeah, so
for an inspection.
for the
before-
inspection. So
yeah.
I'm going to have to, just because of where we are, grant the $325 plus continuing, but hopefully it'll end in a week or so, and then you can come back for a modification, or actually a reduction hearing, just to say, we were in the process.
I
It
mean,
wasn't our fault that they took a long time to review it or something like
I
that. Whatever
I
it is.
understand.
Okay.
I understand.
325 plus continuing at 25 is granted.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next thing on the same page, but moving to violation hearings, case 22-1643, 162 Kingsway, Yanese Alberteris and Elo G. Ramos. Excuse me if I mispronounced.
Excuse you. Okay. And you are?
Yanais Alberteris.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
I didn't get that anywhere
Yanesi
close. Sorry about that.
Alberteris. I'm going down to Miami to see my mom on Sunday. Got to get into the mode.
Dina Foley, Code Officer for the Village of Laurel Palm. Code section is 2657, pergola built without a permit. I observed this on 10/5/22. The notice of violation was mailed out 10/7/22 and was posted on the property. The notice of hearing was sent out certified mail on, the notice of hearing was sent out certified mail 2/24/23 and was signed for on 3/14/23. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, pictures.
Thank you. You have an affidavit of service and a green card, so you have plenty of service and you can proceed.
Thank you.
Ma'am, those documents that I handed you are the exhibits that we'd like to enter into evidence. The first one is the notice of violation. The second one is notice of hearing. Third is verification of ownership. And 4 is pictures, which are on the screen at the ceiling there. Do you have any objection to those documents?
Yes, actually, my husband, that's not my house. I'm here for the 162 Kingsway.
You're at 103
Sorry.
Brook.
Yeah.
Wrong.
There we
wrong.
go. I went the wrong way. Sorry.
Way,
There we go. We're getting closer.
There we go.
way on home. Yeah, that one.
That's all, just the 2. Any objection to the documents, ma'am?
Yeah. My husband submitted the permits.
No. We keep jumping. Do you care about the papers they've given you?
Oh, okay.
Just look at them quickly. They're usually just the service, the ownership documents.
It's the notice of violation, the notice of hearing, verification of ownership, and the photographs on the screen. Any objection to those being entered into the record?
Oh, no.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
admitted without objection. Okay. Then we get to the actual meat of this. You say there's a pergola out there and there's not a permit on the AS 400, correct?
Yes.
Easy peasy. And now you're going to tell us that you've applied for the permit?
Yeah, my husband applied for the permits and he got the approval. We are just waiting to make the appointment for the inspection.
Oh, you got the permit issued?
Yeah. I have everything here.
Okay, so this will be just give them enough time to get through the process kind of case. So,
Is there a permit issue, though?
Yeah, Hunter just looked it up. Yep.
So then it needs to be pulled?
Yes.
Yep, there's a permit issued, so it's not in violation, so we'll
okay,
pull it.
so if a permit's been issued, it's no longer a code enforcement deal. This is now the building department's deal, and you get it back in 2 or 3 years when they empty out their drawers and say, hey, they haven't finished, right? Yeah, just make sure that you call for the inspection and keep a copy of the report just in case they lose it.
Okay.
I have a file of everything I do in the village, just so I have all the inspections and all the approvals done. Okay, so your case, what are we going to call this one?
it's-
Complied?
It's being pulled, but we're going to pull
Pulled.
it from the agenda. Yes, sir.
Pulled is good.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you don't even have a case now.
Okay.
That's
Thank
even
you, sir.
better. Can't have a fun without a case. Not a problem. All right,
Now
next violation hearing will be?
Yeah, going to page 3, third one down, 22-1926, 215 West Saratoga Boulevard, Dania Santos.
Code section 622105.5, permit 221123 is expired. This was written on 12/27/22. The notice of violation was sent out certified mail on 12/28/22 and was posted. The notice of hearing was sent out certified mail on 2/16/23 and was also posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing and affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, permit information.
All right, you have an affidavit of service via posting, so you have service and you can proceed. We have
Your name
here-
for the record, ma'am?
Dania Santos.
Thank you. Those documents I handed you are the exhibits that we'd like to enter into evidence. Do you have any objection to those documents?
No.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So this is an ever-popular solar system. Did it ever get installed?
No.
That's kind of normal too. So what happened with the solar installation?
So, solar, they brought the panels. When they went up there, their roof needs work. So I started that conversation to get the roofers out. I had to pause that because my mother's house needed to get done. Her home insurance said, we're not going to renew you if you don't have your house done. So I had to do the windows and the roof in my mom's house, and I couldn't do both at the same time. So I just
Okay.
pended the project.
So she needs to revoke or remove the permit for a while?
I think
to
it expired.
administratively close it. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're gonna do the solar, you're just
Yeah.
putting it off. You
Actually, they're
still-
starting the process again with Lumio and with the roofers.
Okay.
They're starting it again.
But you're going to go through the roof process first before you
Yes.
go to the solar, so probably administratively
You want to
closing it.
close this one and wait until you get to that point because you're
Then you'll just do a new permit
Yeah.
application.
Okay.
So to administratively close it, how does she do that?
you just come in, you fill out the form. It's a $75 fee to close it out,
Okay.
and then the building official has to sign off on it.
Okay, and you're going to give her how long to do that?
Till June 1st, or
6/1
or appearance at the June 14th fine assessment hearing, or
6/14 or
$25 a day fine.
All right, so they're going to give you until June 1st to get the permit administratively closed.
Oh.
Now, can she do this online?
She can email us the form, yes.
Okay, so if you get the form, you can email it to them, but you're going to also have to send in a payment or drop off a payment
75.
of $75. That'll cut out that'll cancel the permit or revoke the permit, and then you won't have a code enforcement issue on this permit.
Okay.
Okay? Does that work for everyone? 6/1/6/14/25 is granted.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Thank you.
just get it all done, and then when you get the permit revoked, give Heather give them a call.
Okay.
All right, next one down, 23-0040-1235 Chorus Way, Patrick M. and Stacy L. Wakefield.
Code Section 2657, pergola built without a permit. Observed this on 1/18/23. The notice of violation was mailed out 1/20/23 and was signed for on 1/25/23. The notice of hearing was sent out certified mail 2/17/23 and was signed for on 2/21/23. We'd like to enter the following into evidence: Exhibit 1, notice of violation; Exhibit 2, notice of hearing; Exhibit 3, verification of ownership; and Exhibit 4, pictures.
All right, I guess the opposite of the new thing for the green card is delivered. Someone wrote delivered on it, so you got it back. You got to sign one for the notice of hearing, so that's even better. Okay.
Your name, ma'am, for the record?
Stacy Wakefield.
Thank you, ma'am. Those documents I handed you are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Do you have any objection to those documents? They're the notice documents for tonight, verification of ownership, and there's photos on the screen in a second.
All right, admitted without objection. So we have you're saying you built a structure of some sort without a permit,
Pergola.
pergola. Yeah, unfortunately, the village doesn't like things flying around in hurricanes, so they kind of like structures to be permitted. And you're probably going to give her some time to try to permit it or remove it.
They're actually in the process of removing it.
Oh,
We,
okay.
we already removed the roof
I know.
posts are there, and I wanted to see, are we able to keep the posts to like have for a hammock or anything?
The posts still have to come up.
Can we cut them? Because they're 2 feet into the ground. We have to pull them out of the ground too? Or can we just cut them?
They're supposed to be removed. They were being built with your pergola, and your husband explained to me that when he gets back that he wants to continue to build the pergola.
He asked me if we could keep the posts to, if we wanted to put a hammock or something up there instead.
He asked me if he could keep them, and I said no, that they would have to be removed. And then that's when he said, well, he wanted to pursue it to to rebuild the pergola again
Okay.
once he goes through the variance.
Yeah, but the problem is going to be he's got to do a variance hearing.
No, we're not doing the variance. We already started it, and we just,
That's a lot of work and a lot
it's a lot of work. And every time we gave them something, they wanted 10 more things, and
Oh.
it's just a freaking nightmare, so.
Yep, and then you have the issues of you need engineering for the pergola. Just makes it a horrible kind of experience. All right, so this is another 6/1/6/14.
Yeah, 6/1 compliant by 6/1 or 6/14 fine assessment or $25 day fine.
Okay, so if you have it removed before June 1st,
Mhm.
and you call them for an inspection,
Okay.
so they can say it was removed before June 1st, it's all good.
Okay.
So
Thank
you won't be coming back for the 14th hearing or the June 14th hearing. You won't be subject to a fine, nothing.
Okay.
Did he concrete these things in? Took me
Yep.
four-wheel drive in my Jeep and a big chain to pull out some fence posts. Those are all kinds of fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, thank you.
All right, take
Thank
care.
you. Staying on the same page, 22-1473, 10559, Misty Lane, David and Stacy Sager.
Code section is 622-108.4, slab and deck without a permit. Observed this violation on 8/31/22. Sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 9/2/22. Received it on 9/6/22. Sent out notice of hearing, certified mail on 3/24/23. It was delivered on 3/1/23. Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, AS 400 permit information.
Okay. Your name, sir?
Dave Sager.
Thank you, sir. All right, so
While he's looking at that, those documents I handed you are the exhibits that we'd like to enter into evidence. Do you have any objection to those documents? They're the notice documents for tonight,
No, I do not.
verification of ownership, and the permit information. Thank you, sir.
all right, so the slab is we're talking about the boat.
Under the boat.
Okay. And
The photos are up on the screen.
the deck is where?
In the backyard.
Okay. All right, sir, you don't have a permit for the slab or the deck.
I paid for the permit fees. I'm waiting for the building inspector to come out and inspect it.
Good, good. Yeah, they have a
No,
thing about impervious inspection.
it's not to that point yet.
It's still in plan check.
It hasn't been approved.
So okay, it's in plan check.
Okay, I was talking to the building department. So.
They'll tell you when it comes out. Hopefully it'll be, what is this? This is April, May, June. Yeah, you'll have enough time for it to come out of plan check. Yeah, yours is easier. Yours is a impervious surface calculation.
Right.
They just want to make sure that there's not overbuilding in the village so the rain can go back into the aquifer and recharge it. You probably won't have a problem at all because it looks like a lovely little boat.
Yes.
You're going to want to look at your project docs, though, because it's sitting with you right now for a correction. So
Okay, so you need to go,
Not gonna
what
go
she's saying is
anywhere.
go onto the computer
Right.
where you submitted it. They're asking you for a correction of something. And get in there and fix it or call them and to ask them how to fix it. And then
I've done that, and I've talked to Yosef, and she said everything was good to go, and that I was waiting for the building inspector to come out and inspect it.
Okay, well, I don't think we're at that phase yet because you don't get an inspection until you get a permit issued. So you're thinking you're jumping ahead of the process a bit when you're not.
Okay.
You really need to go call Hunter at some point and have her maybe look at your file to see what they're missing, or go into, as she said,
Because I've
project
answered
doc-
all the questions that they've been sending me, and I don't know what
and
else.
but you may have to put them in the computer to make everyone else
Yeah, I
recognize
mean,
that it's happened.
I don't know
Because
exactly
if you're
what-
talking directly to the plan checker,
Okay.
they're not good about entering the data. It makes it look like nothing's going on when you have things going on.
Okay.
So you may want to get in there and say, met with so-and-so on such and such, and they said this, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is going to be another one of these 6-1, 6-14, $25 ones. Hopefully you'll have enough time to get everything issued. And as you saw by one of the prior hearings, once you get that permit issued, you're no longer a code enforcement thing, you're a building department thing.
Right. That's what I thought I was at. I thought I was at the building department.
No, you're not there yet.
Okay.
You got to wait till the permit is issued,
Okay.
and then once you get to the permit being issued, you're no longer code enforcement, but you just have to make sure you call for that inspection.
Yeah, because I paid for the permit and everything. So.
Yeah, but paying for a permit, all that means is you have a ticket to the prom. It doesn't
Okay.
mean you have your tux and your date yet.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to wait for the rest of the stuff. See, they
All right.
liked it.
So
It was
go
a good
online
analogy.
So go online and take care of all the questions then?
Yeah, go online, take care of the questions. They're probably simple because this is, just basically calculations.
That's
I
what I've
think.
been doing. There's been 4 questions that they want answers to, I keep giving them the same answer, and they keep sending me back the same question.
Well, obviously, you need to talk to somebody to get to a point where they either accept your answer or quit sending you the question. Okay, so yeah, just get it worked out. This is an easy one. It doesn't require, wind load calculations and stuff of that nature. It's probably more just how big is the slab you're proposing?
300 square feet.
Yeah, how big is the house on, and how big is your lot? That type of
Because I had a new survey done, I resubmitted the corrected survey,
yeah.
and
So,
I'm still waiting for the building department, I guess.
well, they're waiting for you too. So it's all
All right.
getting it together and making everyone happy. So
Okay.
go online and see what they need to get filled back. All right, 6/1/6/14/25 is good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Moving
next.
to page 4, right below the center, 23-0031, 10603 Fascination Lane, Marlena and Taurus Lovely.
Code sections 14.4, 14.2, 06198, 3 and 5. Disabled vehicle, miscellaneous items, and debris around. Disabled vehicle, miscellaneous items, sidewalk, and driveway are stained. I observed this violation on 1/17/23. Sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 1/20/23. Got it back, not signed, so I posted it to the property. Sent out notice of hearing on 3/4/23. That was received on 3/14/23. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Okay, you have service via posting on these, so you can go.
Your name, ma'am, for the record?
Marlena, lovely.
Thank you, ma'am. Those documents I handed you are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and the affidavit. Exhibit 2 is notice of hearing. 3 is verification of ownership, and 4 are the photos on the screen. Any objection to the documents?
No.
All right,
Thank you,
admitted
ma'am.
without objection. I think the big item here is the Tahoe.
That's the disabled vehicle. They had moved it, so I thought they'd
What
take care of it. But yesterday it had a flat tire again.
Because it just happened. Yes. Not yesterday. Yesterday. What's today?
And they still need the
Today is
pressure
Wednesday.
clean.
And I did that, but the weather, of course, can't control that for whatever reason between the tree and the drain and stuff. My driveway gets dirty. But I
Okay,
cannot
well, they're going to
control
give you
weather, so-
until June 1st to fix these normally.
That's right. June 1st or the June 14th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
All right,
Let
and
me-
you just need to,
What?
if it's just a flat tire,
I have the guy coming back out to fix the tire because it just happened.
yeah, just is the vehicle tagged, registered?
It is.
Okay, well then, get
So
the
I just
tire,
need
get the
to,
tire fixed. Give Margaret a call. She'll come out there and look at the car just to make sure that part of it's done. And then once you get the pressure cleaning done, call her again and she'll look at that part, and then you'll be all gone, all good.
Yeah, as soon as you get that done, call me and I can come right out before it gets dirty
Yeah, before it
again.
gets dirty again, because as long as while the guy's finishing up and doing his final rinse, give her a call. That way she can come by that day or the next day, verify it's done. Because every year in Florida we hit the rainy season, and at the end of the rainy season, everyone's sidewalks and driveways are moldy. So
Yeah.
get it done, call and make sure you inspect, and then you're good until the next time, which will probably be after the end of the rainy season. Okay. While you're doing that, move out whatever miscellaneous items are supposed to be out of there. But she'll talk to you when you're out there and say, "Oh, good, the car's done. You just need to move this, that, and then call me when the pressure cleaning's done."
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 6/1/6/14/25 is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bottom of the same page, 23-0056, 10654 Fascination Lane, Melissa R. Hernandez and Diego J. Valencia.
Code section is 2657, shed and pergola without a permit. I observed this violation on 1/24/23. Sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 1/26/23. Returned that on 2/2/23. Sent out notice of hearing on 3/2/23. It was delivered on 3/7/23. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. USPS tracking. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
Okay. You have signed green cards, so you have service.
Your name,
Proceed.
sir, for the record?
Diego Valencia.
Thank you, sir. Those documents I handed you are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Do you have any objection to those? Those are notice documents for today. The USPS delivery pictures are on the screen, and the village's permit information. Any objection to the papers?
No objection.
Thank
Okay,
you.
admitted without objection. All right, so you have a shed and a pergola without a permit. Is it like a new shed?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yeah,
so
it
you-
was a new shed. It's-
So you should be able to get the engineering data from the actual shed company.
They have applied for their permits.
They've
They are in
applied?
plan check.
Okay, so good. So we're looking at, and the pergola as well?
Yes.
Is that
Sir,
part of your
everything
plan?
it shows on their website on their review.
Good, 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 good. All right, well, you're going to get the same deal as everyone else. You get till June 1st to have it done. That should leave them enough time to get all the questions answered and the permit issued. Once the permit is issued, once again, you're no longer part of code enforcement land. You go straight into building department world, and you just follow up with your final inspections once you get it all done.
All right. Thank
Okay?
you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
6-1, 6-14-25 is granted.
Thank you. Moving now to fine mitigation hearings on page 5. First case is 15-1643, 145 Cortez Avenue, Eliab C. and Summer H. Claudio.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. Oh. All right, that's not horrible.
Your names for the
No,
record?
It's not.
No, I was looking. It's like 2015. Oh my God, that's going to be $100,000. But no, you fixed it in 2016, so
Yeah.
you didn't do 7 or 8 years of it.
Right.
It's not going to
Summer cardio and
Thank you.
Eliab Claudio.
Thank you. And special magistrate, the fine amount is $6,625.
See, it's much better than 90. Don't worry. All right. Why should the fine be reduced?
So we had it corrected the week of. We did not make the phone call, and the fines continued, and we didn't know until we got the fine paperwork saying, hey, you have $6,000 worth of fines. So they told us that we need to set up a hearing to come in so we can get it taken care of. So we want to try to get the amount reduced, or because we had it fixed within the week once we came into the magistrate office.
Yeah. All right. So driveway and sidewalk, garbage.
We
can.
fixed all of that within.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think if there's any way you have any pictures or any evidence that it was done.
We have the fence up. Let me see if I can find a picture of the front of the house. One second.
Yeah.
So we have,
Don't mess with her while she's trying to find it.
I have a picture of the house, so we have the a white fence up, so you can't see anything back there. The garbage can is not in the front at all. So, and then the driveway is pressure clean.
Yeah, okay. Well, obviously that happened because they wouldn't even let you do a fine mitigation if it didn't. I'm just trying to cut down your fine from $6,000 down to a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have had a picture somewhere in 2015 or 16 of the fence being up, I could say, oh, well, there's the metadata on the picture and it said it was up in, whatever. So, yeah, I don't know how long or old that picture is.
I don't have anything else to.
So, do you think you would have anything else? I
Let me-
take a lot of pictures in
Let
my
me.
world.
That's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna check back in my Google pictures. One second.
And if you're just
It's just the garbage can is what was at issue in your.
all right, well, what's the village say?
We're not opposing reduction. Our number is 2106.26.
See, they're saying, oh, we'll knock off 2/3 of it, and I'm trying to get you down even further.
I'm looking. I'm going back to 2016.
Yeah.
1 second.
Actually, do you want to sit down and take your time scrolling through, and maybe I'll deal with another one or two of these?
Okay, let me take a look.
Gives you time.
Okay.
Rather than scramble around and stop everyone, because I've got a couple of multiple fine mitigation cases that should be
Okay.
entertaining.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna pause this one, and she's gonna start looking for some evidence.
Okay,
And we're
then,
gonna move on to the next one.
all right, the next, it's actually two in a row. I'll call them both. 18-1680-10616 Fascination Lane, Anthony Kaminsky, and 19-0597-10616 Fascination Lane, Anthony Kaminsky.
Okay.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, letter requesting fine mitigation. I also have an agent authorization form.
Okay.
Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance
And that's the same evidence for both cases?
for both cases.
Thank you.
Times 2.
Okay.
And Special Magistrate, for your notes, in the first case, 18-1680, the fine amount is $1,200. And the second case, 19-0597, the fine amount is $23,850.
Okay. So,
Hi.
easy question. Hi. Why
Name,
should the
if
fine
you-
be reduced? Or
Can you
tell
give
us.
us your name for the record, please?
Sure. I'm Andrea Kokonakis. I'm here on behalf of Anthony Kaminsky. It's my husband.
What's your last name? Can you spell it?
Okay, sure. K-O-K-I-N-A-K-E-S.
It's on the doc.
Okay.
It's on the fine mitigation request if you want.
That's
why I'm not even.
cheating.
That's why I'm not even asking, because she spelled it too, and I can read it. All right, so the one is easy, the 1,200. The hard one's the 23 grand.
Correct.
And I don't even. What was it? Do we even know what the permit was?
It was actually, what happened was we bought the house in 2011, and I guess there was an open permit from the previous owner that enclosed the garage on the house. And we bought the house, it was already done. We had no idea about it. Back then, it was never, they only searched for liens on a house. They never searched for open permits, so we had no idea. We ended up starting to go get a bunch of permits of our own, windows, doors, fencing, and I guess it was brought to light that this was needing to be done. My husband reopened it. I don't know why, but he did, because I'm like, why are you reopening something we didn't even do? So we went ahead and had called an inspection. They came out. Supposedly only sheathing was done. I don't know why. I thought it was completely handled. I guess there was things sent to us, but we didn't physically sign for them. I have proof that the mail guy was actually forging my husband's signature, and even on some of the documents it says for Anthony Kaminsky. We never received them. So and then COVID happened, and then it was brought to light because we're actually going to do a build on our house. So we went to go refi, and they're like, "Well, you have a lien." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Every permit we've ever done, we've had it handled, fixed, and moved on. So then as soon as we found out there was a lien, COVID happened, so we couldn't get anybody out. And then after COVID, we finally was able to get building inspection out. We had to hire a private engineer and pay him a lot of money to come out, open up walls. He ended up having to do electric, a whole bunch of stuff, so we closed the permit finally. So now I'm here to see if there's anything we can do.
Okay. And what do you suggest the amount be reduced to?
I mean, we're a single family income home with 2 small kids and another on the way, so I don't know, what can you guys do?
I don't know. You can negotiate against
Yeah,
yourself?
so there's 2 cases. The first one was not a permit issue. It was parking on the front lawn, garbage cans, bare spots in the yard. We're not opposing reduction. Our number is 971.48.
Okay.
Payable within 60 days. That'd be by June 12th.
Okay.
And I'll give you the number on the second one, 19-0597. We're not opposing reduction. Our number would be $5,594.16, again, by 6/12.
Would you be able to do 3,000?
Maybe. I'm the guy. All right, so this permit was not yours?
Correct.
And you had to go in and spend all kinds of money to get it
Rectified.
rectified?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Y'all are looking at me, huh? I got to do something. Dang.
And Margaret knows. She knows I've been working hard trying to do all this. I really have.
Yeah, it was not their permit, but they did reopen it, which then made it theirs.
Well, it was going to be their problem.
And
It's
either
like,
way, yeah.
yeah, you buy a house in the village and it has a shed and you don't have a shed
Right.
permit, you've
I
got
know.
a shed problem. How
I mean,
about,
that's a big thing though, that the being the garage being closed, I just figured it would, it's
Yeah.
fine.
yeah, unfortunately, you figured out that it wasn't fine because there's
But I mean, it is now.
semi-permitted or unpermitted things
Right.
tend to be a little
And it
on
is
the
now. We had to
skimpier
actually
side.
fix stuff too. When we hired the engineer, he's like, "This isn't up to code. This isn't up to code," because this was way back, before. So we actually had to fix stuff to bring everything up to code to then close the permit.
Okay, so how about this? We will take 18-1680 and reduce it from 1200 to 500, payable by, and give me a date like 60 or 90 out.
60 days was June 12th.
612. And we'll take the 190597 and reduce that to $2,500 by 612.
Fabulous.
And that miraculously works out to 3,000.
And then how do I make payment? What do I need to do?
Check our money order after I sign the order, because if you try to give it to them first, they won't have anything for it to attach to and they'll throw it away.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You'll get some orders in the mail.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I have echo, 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 echo.
Do you want, is the
One,
previous
two,
lady
three.
ready, or not? Do you want to hold her till the end? This
I'm
one
going to
could
hold
take
her
a
to the
while.
end.
Okay,
We're
very
going to
good.
echo our way through.
Okay, very good. So I'll read them all into the record.
Go right ahead.
First one is 15-198910245 Okeechobee Boulevard, Echo LLC.
Okay.
Second one is 16-21261025 Okeechobee Boulevard, Echo LLC. 17-1485 10245 Okeechobee Boulevard, Echo LLC. 17-1549 10245 Okeechobee Boulevard, Echo LLC. 17-1961 10245 Okeechobee Boulevard, Echo LLC. 18-1075 10245 Okeechobee Boulevard, Echo LLC. 19-1244 10245 Okeechobee Boulevard, Echo LLC.
So for the first case, 15-1989, I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the request for fine mitigation. Exhibit 2 is the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay. I'm just going through this wonderful stack of stuff I just got.
We might be able to short circuit some of that.
That'd be good, because I'm on page 3. You're looking at good cause to reduce lien.
Right.
Special Magistrate, I had to make copies of these cases and everything and scan them. So I am borrowing the affidavit, the verification of ownership from
It's okay. I think they're admitting they own it. Okay. So, I'm sure there's a legal term for the amount of liens you have here, but tell me why it should be reduced.
So first, put my name on the record. Special Magistrate, I'm Gary Resnick. We represent the owner, Echo LLC, as well as the former tenant, Holiday CVS LLC. And I'm going to get into, you want to do this case by case, or do you want to, we can talk, but let me.
Let's talk about this just generically.
Okay,
first
let me
before we get
talk
into-
about some things generically, and I appreciate you getting that letter now, and it's way too much to review in a short hearing. We had actually sent that to the Code Enforcement Department earlier in the week and requested that they provide it to you earlier, but we understand that that could not necessarily be done. But we believe that there is good cause here to reduce the liens that have accrued in this property, and it's upwards of $430,000, which is
a lot.
A lot, we understand. But we appreciate your comments earlier that if a party has evidence of correcting violations earlier than what's reflected in the affidavit of compliance, they should come forward at a lien reduction request. And that's the situation here. If anything, the prior tenant, CVS, is guilty of not asking for inspections in a timely manner, but they addressed a lot of the violations in a timely manner, and I'm prepared to provide evidence to that effect. Just want to talk about a few things that the village code sets forth. The village code does set forth some factors to determine with respect to the appropriate amount of fines. They're obviously the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and then whether there are previous violations by the same actor. And there's some other relevant factors here that we're going to discuss. But with respect to all of these violations, and yes, there's 7, and the liens accrue to a huge amount of money. But none of the violations were issues that threatened the health, safety, and welfare of the residents. In fact, some of the violations were relatively minor. For example, doing work without a permit on the parking lot. And as I indicated, many of them were corrected long before the affidavit of compliance indicates they were corrected. And we believe that also there's compelling reasons to reduce this lien. I'll get into it a little bit at the end, but there is a pending sale of this property, and the lien, and in fact, the representatives of the owner and I believe the buyer are here. And I do have evidence of the pending sale, and so the liens are obviously interfering with that, and I'll get into that a little bit.
Whose fault is that?
Correct. So, and to the point about the violations not affecting the health, safety, and welfare of the village residents, nothing impacted CVS's operations during this entire time. In fact, 2 years ago, they had very positive reviews that I cited in that letter that's before you. So they were able to continue operations. In fact, they have glowing reviews from a lot of the residents of the village, notwithstanding the violations that were occurring at that time, according to the affidavits of compliance. So you don't have to go through each of the points in the letter now. I'm prepared to go through these case by case and provide the evidence with respect to the efforts undertaken by CVS to correct the violations.
Okay. And
All right.
what does the village say? Let them go case by case?
That's fine. Code Enforcement Walker, Supervisor Walker has gotten her evidence on the first case, so we can stick with that one for now on 15-1989, but she'll need to get some additional evidence for each of the remaining cases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And for your record, Special Magistrate, the fine amount in this first case, 15-1989, is $64,850.
Right. That's correct.
Yep.
So the fine commenced in January 29, 2016. The affidavit of compliance was not entered until just last month, March 7th, 2023. But I do have, again, the violations in this matter were not actually that significant. There were landscaping issues, but they didn't interfere with the operation of the property. And I have invoices to indicate that CVS actually took steps to address these matters sooner than what's reflected in the affidavit of compliance. Should I just hand you the?
No, I can see I'm on the page. Invoice number 1.
Well, these are kind of there's 3 invoices relevant to this
This one
this violation. There's first invoice 836787. Notice the date is 1/5/2016. That's actually before the fines commenced. So they hired their contractor to come out and take care of the issues that were raised by the village. They replaced the dead landscaping. They filled in missing spots. They fixed the irrigation, which was cited by the village, and they trimmed the landscaping, which were the specifics that were cited by the village in the citation. I don't know why, for whatever reason, they didn't come in and seek an inspection at that point. Or
They were also supposed to remove dead vegetation and obtain the vegetation removal permit. That permit was not obtained until 2022. Okay. No one ever applied or obtained a vegetation removal permit. And that's how when you apply for the vegetation removal permit, that gets an inspection, and then it ensures that all the landscaping is up to the current landscape plan.
Okay.
So, and that was not done until 2022. And upon that inspection being performed and approved by the arborist, which I do have that, was March 7th. He actually went out on, I'm sorry, February the 24th, and there was just a couple things that needed to be done, and then he complied it out on March 7th.
Right.
And that's my compliance date as well.
Okay.
Now, just so you know, I live about a mile that way. I drive through that intersection 2 times a day sometimes, 3 times a day, maybe even 4. So familiar with your location.
With the property, right? As is Ms. Walker, I know.
When I leave this meeting, I'll probably go to Bud's Chicken and Seafood, which is like 2 whole doors away,
Right.
and I'll go past. Let's see, that was a huge dead queen palm or royal palm they had out front. I forget.
On this one was
Yeah.
a royal palm, but we're talking about the other site
Oh,
that
okay.
is on Fox property.
Okay. The
By Target, across
Target.
from the Chevron.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is a
The
different one.
separate property.
Oh well, I drive by that one.
Well, let's
only
not
once.
confuse
I
the
drive
sites.
by that
Well, this one
only
is
once
now
or twice a day. That's okay. So that's the
This is the one on
unoccupied
Okeechobee.
one over there.
Right, it's vacant.
Okay.
The lease expired in October. CVS operated it from 2004 till 2022, and
All right.
now
No,
it's
I'm-
vacant.
This is good because you had a lot less problems over at that one than they had over at this one.
The one that's still operating.
The one that's still operating.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, let's
that
not
one-
confuse
so
those for
I'm
purposes
trying
of
to
this.
keep everything nice and separate.
Right.
You guys had, because that one had like, but here you have plenty of these, so I guess you weren't like a lot better. All right, so so we have the first one at 64,850, and that's got landscaping that didn't come into compliance, and you didn't get a tree removal permit for years. Okay.
Well, there's a couple other mitigating factors that I just want to present, and based on the invoices that are before you now. So in 2018, the village, and I'm not sure exactly who you notified, but they may have notified the store manager or somebody else on the property that there were issues with overgrown shrubs and overgrown landscaping that needed to be addressed, or there would be fines. They addressed those before fines accrued, but no one, to the best of my knowledge, no one indicated that there still was the outstanding issue with getting the permit for removing the dead tree.
Well,
But
so
I'm not sure if that's true, if that's absolutely
so
correct or not.
the warning that was given to the store was for the vertical clearance for the clear site zone, and that's totally separate codes. It's in the landscape chapter,
Right.
but it's a different code section than what was cited. So they were actually told that they needed to clear that and trim those for the cars moving out of the plaza so that it didn't block the clear site zone.
All right, so just one other question, I guess, is because a lot of this is we're learning as well. But in 2023, or actually when it was complied in March, the contractor indicated that they had to get an amendment to their landscaping plan so that it would reflect the trees that were actually there and make some minor changes to the landscaping and add some planting, but it really wasn't. They didn't indicate anything about getting a permit to remove dead trees
Well,
at
no,
that
there
point.
there was
They
dead
did do that.
vegetation there. They had a dead sable palm.
Okay.
That
But
was
did
up
the
towards
origin- did this-
dead pine trees were there. But at some point, and I don't know if the vegetation was planted or if it was seedlings or
Original.
whatever, but whatever was there, I think they wanted to keep.
Right.
And it wasn't what was on the plan, so they had to modify the plan, and they did do that.
Okay, all right. So I guess the point is that CVS has been responsive. You know, when they heard from the village that there were issues with this property with respect to the landscaping, they didn't just turn their back and say, well, we're not going to do anything about it. They spent $10,100 over a course of the years that this lien accrued to try and address these issues, and finally did address it, you know, even though the compliance didn't come in until 2023. But we submit that there is good cause to reduce the lien of $64,000 that is accrued in this case. The violations that existed don't justify such a high lien in this
Well, it's not
particular case.
the justification is the matter of time. I mean, it's been 8 years.
Well, like I said, they first addressed things before fines even accrued. They may not have complied 100% with what the village required, but they, to the best of the,
I agree with your argument that they spent money to do these things, but I don't know that the money they spent would have actually cured what it was supposed to cure, because no one ever inspected it and said, yeah, you're good. I mean, you could have spent like, $4,300 or $4,630 to replace the tree, and it could have been the wrong tree that didn't matter on the site plan that would have required a modification to get that tree in.
Right.
So,
well, when we've had other situations, and I know you're not bound by any of these other things, but when we've had situations in Palm Beach County that were similar, where the plan needed to be amended to conform with the trees that were on the property, the code enforcement of Palm Beach County always said, just deal with the issue, the violations now in terms of dead or dying trees, broken irrigation, overgrown shrubs, things of that nature. And then we'll deal with the amendment to the plan as a separate issue and not hold up the fines to give you time to amend the plan, because that takes a long time. I mean, that's something that does take a lot longer than removing dead trees or trimming bushes and things of that nature. So
okay, well, it's Palm Beach County.
Right.
Not Royal Palm, so.
Right.
All right, so are we going to do these one at a time? We're going to go, I don't care how we're going to do them. We're going to do them one
we
at a
only
time.
have called in this case in terms of evidence.
All right, so we've got a $64,850 fine. What is the village's position with regards to this?
We're not opposing reduction. We would be amenable to reducing it to $13,751.26 payable by June 12th.
Okay.
What was that number? I'm sorry.
13751.26, which looks like
20%.
20%-ish. Yeah, right at it. That's an 80% reduction on that one.
Can I just make a comment or a question?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm just curious as to how the village arrived at that, since their costs incurred in this case were only $390.63. It's not as if they had to spend money to maintain the property. They only had administrative costs, is my understanding.
Okay, well, I'll let them answer then.
Yeah, so for the village tonight, it's not our burden to prove why the fine should be reduced. I told you we're not opposing the reduction, but the respondent has the burden to prove why the fine should be reduced and give you a number. I didn't hear him mention a number. I gave you the village's number in response to your question. But again, code enforcement is not based on the administrative costs incurred by the village. Your order set fine amounts. They don't say if you don't come into compliance, all you're going to be assessed is the village's administrative costs. That's not how code enforcement works.
Oh, and believe me, I only do 5 different code enforcement boards across 2 counties.
Right, I understand.
So, it's like 80% is normally a good deal.
Oh, I'm not, believe me, I'm not saying that it's not necessarily a good deal.
So why should it be reduced any further than 80% off?
And I totally support code enforcement. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I'm a former elected official. I was a city commissioner in Wilton Manor, Florida for 25 years and mayor for 10 years. And so I'm a huge supporter of code enforcement. And I've actually sat in your position where we're hearing requests to reduce liens. And, there's some cases the violator does absolutely nothing. And so you don't feel, that there's very good cause to reduce a lien. But in other cases they do, and they don't ignore the violations. And I think in this case, I think there was good faith to try and rectify the issues. And they did spend a lot of money. What we would request was more of a reduction to 10% to $64.85. So we're sort of a little lower than what the village requested.
Okay, well, see, the problem with this one is you make attempts, but there's a 15 case, a 16 case, a 17 case, a 17 case, a 17 case, an 18 case, and a 19 case. So this is just serial violations over years. Yeah.
Well, this was the only landscape violation, actually.
Oh, well, sorry.
And
we do different violations over different years.
I don't think
that's not the.
I mean, to call them a serial violator, I don't know if that's necessarily true. And as I indicated, the violations did not.
I didn't call them a serial landscaping violator. I just called them a serial
Okay.
violator.
All right.
Which it seems that they are, because I've been signing these orders since 2009 here, and I see my signature on a bunch of them.
Right.
So, a lot of this is just self-inflicted. You know, they did what they did, but they didn't do what they were supposed to do, which is call and have inspections. I can't really go back in time and say, was this completely done? Was it fixed completely? Because there's no inspection done. I mean,
Well,
it could
I
have
mean,
been
right.
50%, it could have been 99%, it could have been 2%. I don't know. All I know is they paid an invoice. I don't even know if they paid the invoice. I just know that we have an invoice.
Well, I
But
could.
I'm assuming it's
I
been
did
paid.
swear that I would tell the truth, and
No, I'm just
I
assuming
can
that
verify that they did pay these
No,
invoices.
I'm assuming that they've been paid. You know, it's just I can't guarantee that in 2016, that on January 5th, 2016, when they got the invoice for the replaced trees, landscaping, fixed irrigation, and trim landscaping, that it fixed it. You know, all I can know is that they spent that money and they did something
Right.
related to it. So I'm more likely to go with the village's position on this of 13,751.26.
We
And then we
appreciate
get to the sign.
We appreciate that.
All right, that's one, and we still have 6 more to go. So,
That's correct.
All right, so I already read 16-2126 in the record. Supervisor Walker just needs to get in her evidence.
Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, the previous order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, the affidavit of compliance.
okay. And the
This
amount of
one-
fine in this one?
8,000.
Oh, flat. Oh, nice.
This was
This was prohibited signs. Yeah.
right, and this was the first violation for signs, so there's not a repeat violation. The accrued lien, it was resolved actually relatively quickly, but it did accrue a lien in the amount of $8,000. It's my understanding that the village's costs were $374.66. Again, we would request a reduction to, in this case, $1,000, which we believe is appropriate given that CVS did take steps to correct this violation relatively quickly, and it was complied.
Well, what, 80 days at 100 or more than that?
That's what it was, correct.
Okay, what's the village's position?
We, again, are not opposing reduction. We would be amenable to reducing to $2,349.32 by June 12th.
I'm sorry, what was the?
We're just going to make it 2,000 by 612.
Thank you.
Okay. A little less on the next one because you're.
And then 17-1485 I already read, but Supervisor Walker needs to get her evidence in.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request form. Exhibit 2, the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, the affidavit of compliance.
Okay. And the amount of this lien is?
This one,
184,000. $400.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little exorbitant for.
I don't know.
Some snap signs.
Advertising is very important and expensive sometimes. This is your advertising plan.
Right.
So, why should this one be reduced?
Well, again, the signs that were in place did not affect the health, safety, and welfare of the village. These were marketing signs. According to the village staff, they were relatively small, like the type of yard signs you would see from candidates or whatever, like 2 foot by 3 foot or so. And they were placed throughout the property or by the front entrance to alert customers to products and services that were offered in the pharmacy. So they weren't advertising other third parties or anything like that, where they were advertising the goods and services
So
that
they were
were.
violating the amount of signage they could put on their
Correct.
building by putting it out in the
And they didn't have
driveways
permits for these
and
signs.
in
That's
the
correct.
landscaping areas and other places.
But the again, there's evidence that this was addressed. So the fines began in this case on. Let's see if I can find the dates. Fines commenced on September 2nd, 2017, at $100 a day. That was actually the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. So and they accrued, according to the affidavit of compliance, for 1,805 days until 9/20/22. But there was work done by CVS to remove signs in response to another sign code case. In 2019, they hired a contractor, and the invoice is before you. It's invoice 46337. That they hired a contractor, paid about $140. It wasn't expensive, to remove all the prohibited signs on the property. And the removal of those signs was the basis for complying of a later code violation case in 2019. So it's our position that all of the signs were removed back in 2019, that they didn't actually exist on the property until 2022. And if you accept that the signs were removed at that time, according to that invoice, the lien would have been $73,500, not $184,400. And even in that situation, though, we believe that that's exorbitant and not consistent with the village code that does provide for equity with respect to the amount of fines. And we would request a further reduction to $7,350 in this case, or 10% of the amount of lien that would have occurred over the time period that these signs
And the village
likely
says?
existed.
Again, if you take as true what he said and they complied in 2019, the village certainly would accept that $73,000 number as a fine amount. But again, you'll see the pattern continues here, and the signage is a common thing. So,
Well, we get 18 and 19 signs. So
right. So again, we're not opposing reduction in this case either. I can give you the village's number.
Sure.
It's certainly not the 10%. It would be $37,639.66, payable again by 6/12.
I mean, if this was the only other sign violation, I might get a little bit more lenient, but then I get to look down at number 18 and 19.
But those were complied relatively quickly.
Yeah, but it's just
Magistrate.
serial violations of the village sign code because, hey, some manager decided advertising mattered more than following village of regulations. You know, it's one thing for someone to do this once and get slapped down and go, okay, I'm not doing it again, but they did it. They did it again. They did some other things and they did it again and then they did it again.
And not for nothing, the village didn't even ask for the maximum fine amounts that we could have. These were set at $100 per day
You
instead
could
of
have done
$250.
$250
So
a day.
right, so the village was already, giving some leniency, despite the fact that this becomes a pattern.
Yeah, and that's my problem is the pattern of ignoring these things. You know, I'm trying to be equitable to a certain extent, but I also cannot just ignore the fact that they ignore these things.
Mr. Magistrate, we do understand that, and we understand that the village does have a need to enforce its code, and if a violator is ignoring them, that we need to take more drastic steps. But it's the two later sign code cases, the fines were $3,000 and $5,000. They're not like they considered, and those were set amounts. They weren't an amount per day, so those were amounts that you specifically set.
No, those were amounts per day.
Well, I think one was not. I think the $3,000 was a set amount. I don't know if it was an amount per day.
But they're always
I
based
think
on a
it
per
had come
day.
into compliance,
Yeah.
but
Right.
so just for the record, I mean, we did try to get CVS to pay attention to these things. We even brought multiple of these cases for authorization for foreclosure hearings, trying to get CVS to move and come into compliance.
When was that?
And that we did that in October 15 of 2018, and
Right.
still didn't get, or it was October of 2018, but we did try to get CVS to come to the table
Yeah.
and get these things in compliance.
No, I understand, and I understand the village's need to enforce its code. We just think that the code also does provide, though, it's in the code. It's not just something that we're asking for. The code does provide for equitable treatment with respect to fines, and that they're not supposed to be expensive. So
What's the law school? God, that was a horrible experience.
I'm of your generation.
He who seeks equity must do equity. Is that one of those
That
crappy
sounds pretty
Latin
close.
things
Yeah,
we
that sounds
had?
pretty close.
And you're asking for equity while your client tenant was not being equitable. So, here we go. It's like,
I appreciate that.
All right, so I got to figure out what to do with these three big ones, basically. The 184.
Well, this was the one where, again, it accrued to $184,400, but we submit that in actuality it accrued to
It's really
73,000 something, and the village's number of 37,600 would be roughly half of that, which is, if we went to 20% of that, it would be in the $14,000, $15,000 range.
And what does the village say to that argument?
Again, the trouble, like Linda said, is that code enforcement tried to get CVS's attention for years. People didn't appear at hearings. People didn't respond to code enforcement. So again, to comply, the only language on your orders in bold says when you come into compliance, call the code enforcement department to stop the fines from running. So again, you do enough of these special magistrate, you understand the village is never intending to be punitive. By the time we get to a hearing, many, many months have gone by of code enforcement trying to get in contact with the violator. So this is not that the village is trying to be punitive. This is just there was a complete disregard for the village code, and there was very little, if any, communication on these cases. So I'll leave this one to you, special magistrate. Again, we're not opposing reduction, but this is there was a lot being done by code enforcement to try to get this complied.
Okay. No, I was part of that effort. If you're setting motions or hearings to authorize foreclosures, that's serious stuff, and that very rarely happens in the village. All right, 30,000 by 612.
Thank you.
We're giving you a little bit of a credit for taking it out. Next one will be how much? The 17 case?
Yeah, 17-1549 is 43,850, and Supervisor Walker needs to get her evidence in.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
This is the parking lot permit case, correct? Yes.
Having done without a permit.
Yes.
Okay.
If I may, Mr. Magistrate, the lien in this case was indicated as $43,850, but this is for doing work in a parking lot without a permit. It wasn't for incurring ongoing fines or violations for the condition of the parking lot. So I think that has to bear to some extent on how much the ultimate lien should be, because actually the work done in this case was acceptable to the village. The village had cited CVS for the condition of the parking lot, which is why they brought in their contractor to repair it. Now, I don't know why they didn't obtain a permit for that, maybe because there's confusion as to whether permits are required for certain parking lot work.
Permits are always required.
They're actually not required for sealing or for restriping. They are required for asphalt
required
work.
where? Not where are they not required for sealing and restriping?
Palm Beach County Code.
They're required here. That's how we make sure they're up to ADA code.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's crazy because there's ADA compliance, and how do we know your contractor's ADA compliant unless they're getting an
Well,
inspection?
actually, if you look at the code section on this, I can find it, because they were cited for a violation of 6-22-108.4, and we don't have to go back to law school for this. This is just straight out of the village code. It says any person who commences any work on a building or structure before obtaining the building official's approval or necessary permits may be subject to a penalty of 400% of the usual permit fee in addition to the usual fee. So if the permit fee based on another permit that they did apply for and obtain for parking lot work was $525. If we use that as a number, the penalty should have been $2,625 based on the code. And I'm not just making this up based on what we feel. That's what the code provides.
But the time to make that argument is at a violation hearing or a fine assessment hearing. We're not here to relitigate the nature of the violation or whether it was a violation of the village code.
If your guys would have showed up for this stuff, we probably wouldn't have had most of these fines. They would have gone off and they would have heard my admonition that I tell everyone here, which is you've got to call. I mean, that's part of my normal routine. And I usually get by the first or second person on fine assessment hearings, I have that part of my speech. It's almost like, just plug in playlist number 3, 5, because I got to say that because everyone ignores that.
No, I
even these corporate people. So what's the village's position?
Well,
Because you're saying
just one other-
2,600 and I'm just getting to.
We're again not opposing reduction. Our number would be $9,538.50 by June 12th.
$95,3850 by 612 is granted. All right, we're getting down to the smaller. No, we got 120 grand left.
This is the last big one. 17-1961 has been read, but Supervisor Walker needs to get her evidence in.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Consistent. Echo was not present.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at my orders from these. Echo was not present. Those
No,
are
I
the
know.
things
See,
I did.
neither
It's
the owner apparently didn't receive the notices. I'm not saying they weren't served, but the owner stayed on the record that they did not know that these violations were accruing fines. The notices are sent to CVS's corporate address. So, but in any event, the lien in this case of $120,150. And fines of $75 commenced on 4/27/2018, and a compliance affidavit was not submitted until 9/15/22. But this is another situation, and I'm not sure why it wasn't complied earlier, because there are invoices that are now before you in the letter that was submitted from May 21st, 2018, that CVS hired a contractor to address these issues. And these were basically exterior maintenance issues. They had to do with the flashing on the building, some stains on the building, other issues with the property condition. According to CVS's contractor, they were complied and completed in May of 2018 at a cost of about $3,600.
To repair building and exterior pressure wash.
Correct. But
I don't know what they repaired, and I don't know if they put the cap flashings are not approved color to an approved color. That's people go to spend all this money getting site plans and going through approval processes and getting their colors on their buildings so they can try to match their national advertising and all this other stuff, and then they ignore it.
Well, that's
Yeah,
right.
it's like,
But it's
yeah.
it's one thing to say that this was ignored, but it's another, and it wasn't ignored. I mean,
You pressure clean the
CVS
building.
had the citation from the village. They provided it to its contractor. That's why the contractor was there. It even says in the invoice, we're there to address the village violation. So they weren't just there to brought in to fix the property. And I'm assuming that the contractor spoke at some point to the village staff when they were doing the work. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but.
Someone had to replace cap flashing, and they replaced it to the wrong color. And then I spoke to Linda Lupo. She had said the cap flashing had been changed, but I think I don't think it was changed. I think it was already changed when you went out there, correct? Okay. So then it was painted white. So it didn't come into compliance then until 22. They repaired it, but it just wasn't the right
But
color.
did you notify them that it wasn't the right color at all?
That's what the violation was.
No, that after they repaired it and painted it white, did anybody seek to tell
So the
Ms.
first time
Lupo?
I spoke to Linda Lupo, I believe, was in 2022, somewhere around there. So, and that's it. After it got painted white, then she called me and I went out and re-inspected it and complied it.
Oh, so it was complied as white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
But just so we're clear, the respondent has to call the village to get an inspection. There's no affirmative obligation on the part of the village to go out and re-inspect. and
Yeah,
confirm
We understand that.
compliance.
I wasn't asking.
The village
right,
is
I
not the
understand
property
that.
manager for your.
I understand
for
that,
your
but-
for your.
But again, you
owner.
had the comments earlier with respect to other people that if they had evidence of
Yeah, and I'm-
correcting a violation earlier, then they come here to the code mitigation hearing, which is what we're here for.
I'm giving you some
No,
of these
no,
credits
absolutely.
along these ways.
I
I'm
know,
not like
absolutely.
sitting here going, no. I've reduced
That's correct.
actually every one of them so far. So, I'm giving credence to your arguments. I am reducing these things by probably in the 80 percentile on
No,
some
and
of them and 50s on others.
We are grateful.
And
so
so let's
McGibbon,
get
we are
through-
very grateful
Let's
for
go
this.
through this next one here before we get to the easy ones. So, what is the village's position with regards to this?
We again are not opposing reduction. We'd be amenable to reducing it to 24,790.30 by 612, payable by 612.
Okay.
Mr. Magistrate, just again, because they did incur fairly significant expenses with respect to this violation, we were seeking it to be reduced to $12,000. So maybe if there's some,
Yeah, you keep going for the 10%. They keep going for 20 plus some administrative costs.
I don't know if there were any administrative costs with this one.
Well, I'm. All right, 20,000 by 612.
Thank you.
All right, and we're getting to the last two.
Yes, sir. 18-1075 has been read, but Supervisor Walker needs to get her evidence in.
Again, I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, the affidavit of compliance.
All right, and if I've been paying any sort of attention, you're probably going to say 500 because it's 10% of
Well,
5,000.
no.
They're gonna
we respect the
go-
village. We understand how difficult this has been for staff over the years, and we appreciate all of your time that you've spent on these cases as well. We would seek $1,000 in each.
Okay.
So this one you have before you, but the fine amount's 5,000. This one is a repeat violation. So again, we're not opposing reduction. We'd be amenable to reducing it to 1726.98 by 612, payable by 612.
Granted.
That's for case 18-1075.
Yes, sir.
And let's-
1726.
Yep.
98. Yes, sir.
And we're getting now to 191244, and you're going to say 300.
No. Again,
If Supervisor Walker could
You're
get
gonna
her
say 1,000.
evidence
Yeah,
in.
forget that.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request form. Exhibit 2, the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
Linda, if you
You're at
want for the
1,000.
record, did you enter the agency form?
I'm sorry?
Did you
The
enter
agent
the
authorization
agency form?
Um,
Or is that already in the record?
No, I don't have the agent authorization form. It's not needed for
Okay.
attorneys.
We're special.
All right, no, that's great.
This
right.
one, the fine amount's 3,000. Special magistrate.
What's your number?
To me or to Mr. Resnick?
He said 1,000. on
Mine's
the last two.
1326.86. Again, payable by 612.
Granted. Okay.
Thank you.
Someone will add all these up. It'll be a lot less than 496 or 429.
Given we really appreciate your time and attention to this.
You're welcome.
And,
I do remember you from your governmental service. I've been town attorney for Glen Ridge for 34
I
years.
know
now.
I've spoken before the Municipal Attorneys Association several times, and will we, Ms. Walker, will we get I know we'll get orders to that effect, but
Why don't you give Ms. Walker your card and she will send some orders to you? So
We have
you
it.
have it. They'll send you some courtesy copies so they don't get lost in the shuffle.
because I know CVS is going to want to process these payments as soon as possible because of the pending sale, and so
We like motivated people. It's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Special Magistrate, if we can go back to the first fine mitigation case that you continued, or that you paused, rather.
Yeah.
15-1643.
Okay.
I was able to locate a picture from June 27, 2017. That's the most, that's what I could find.
And what does that show?
It shows the trash can in the back of the house without view from the street.
Okay, show it to the council. You had to walk over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's from 2000.
17.
Yeah, you found. What's that trash can?
This we were cleaning because we had the you can see where the gasoline.
See, the bad thing is the garbage can is garbage can is
But
garbage can.
So that garbage can can't be there either. Is the problem?
No, what I'm saying is we were doing the landscaping or whatever, and that's why that was up there. But the blue one is in the back. We're cleaning. This is the most recent picture that I can find to show that we started the habit of just putting it in the backyard.
And here, now you get to show it to me that you.
Show it to
come
the
back,
magistrate.
come here. You get to show it to me now. And I get to look at it for a whole second. So you had it back there in the back.
Why was the
We're doing lawn that day, so we were putting things inside the black trash can.
Okay.
Can we just check one thing real quick? The compliance date was 9/22/16. So.
Yeah, that's good.
But I'm saying the trash can was removed according to the village in 2016, not 17.
Yeah, well, they're saying it was done a week later, and they're just started fumbling through their phone to give proof. And now that they've been able to show me pictures of that area, I'm into their credibility. So the amount is 6,625. You're at 2106.26. What do you suggest is the number?
30 days.
No, how much? How much do you say?
Can we 10%, which would be
600.
600.
600. In this one, I'll just sort of split the difference and make it 1,000 by
612.
612.
Or is that enough time to pay? Because
we can pay it today.
No, you're not.
Can't.
You're not getting an order today.
We need the clearance documentation for Friday. Is that possible? The clearance, or the to show the lien being put down to 1,000.
You are not going to get anything by Friday from me, but you may be, if you talk to her nice, get an email that says that we will confirm that the lien reduction hearing order that we will submit will be 1,000.
Okay.
So you need to give her your information.
Can you give us your before you leave? Give us your email address.
Yes, ma'am.
And that way she can email it to you, and then hopefully, what is this going to be? The title company or somebody?
I'm sorry. Yes.
The title company will have assurance that it happened.
Yes, sir.
That's what you want.
Yes,
She'll
sir.
be able to get that to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a good day.
I
Give
had
your
to wait
email
for
to
the-
Linda before you leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we have a gentleman here with a cream-colored shirt that needs to be sworn in.
Can you get sworn in, sir? Go to the podium, and then the magistrate will swear you in. He's on page 2.
Cool. Raise your right hand. Does the testimony you're about to give, or do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. He says yes. Okay.
This is case. It's a fine assessment hearing. It's case 1766, 232 Ponce de Leon Street. Christina Backe and Walter J. Scarmato.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, permit information.
Hold on one second. I'm just making him number 12 for my bodies here. All right. So we have an affidavit. All right. Do you have any objection to the document, sir? Basically, just.
Your name? What's your name, sir?
My name is Walter Scarmato.
Thank you, sir. Any objection to those documents I handed you? They're the notice documents, the previous order. Photos are on the screen. Any objection to the papers? Oh, no photos. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no photos on this one.
You're okay with those documents? Thank you. And
All
we're
right.
actually going to request a continuance on this one, so it should be easy.
Granted.
We'll establish a new compliance date of June 1st, and if necessary, appearance at the status/fine assessment hearing on June 14th, or maintain your $25 a day previous fine amount.
You worked out a deal. Get it all done. Make sure it's done before I
Thank
I
you
have
so
to
much.
see you again because
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one,
Okay.
sir.
was that, did it take too long to rule? No. All right, does that take care of our live peoples?
It does, dude. Are you gonna?
Do we need a
Thank
minute? Or we
I'm
need
okay
to
with-
romp through? I don't care either way.
Do they need one? I was just gonna send an email saying that this is what it was reduced to.
This is what it was reduced to, and the orders will be submitted.
You okay with doing it? I'll do 5.
They brought kids and they didn't bring them in. I would have given more off. God, if I would have known they made their kids wait outside so they didn't disturb me, I would have given them even more off. That's good parenting. Dang.
All right, back to page 1. Fine assessment hearings, 22-1796, 10103 Penzance Lane, Daime Machado.
We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, permit information. Exhibit 4, pictures. I'm sorry, he
All right,
doesn't
do you
have
have
the
an
pictures.
affidavit of service somewhere? 'Cause all I see is,
How do you have service?
I see an official use stamp. I just don't see an
Oh, here,
affidavit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. This has to be somewhere. 10,000. All right, so we have an affidavit of service. You have service, you can proceed. This was the driveway at my mother's house in South Miami in the late 1960s.
The 2
'Cause
strips.
that was state
Yeah.
of the art because your
Yeah.
cars dripped oil and they dripped them right on the grass and wouldn't affect anything else. And it was probably also environmentally friendly because it had less impervious surface.
Except for the oil went through to the water table.
That just keeps the water table, floating. All right, what do you want on this one?
This one's been out of compliance for 13 days, so
325
325 and
plus
continuing.
continuing is granted.
Thank you.
22-1802 is being pulled.
Gotcha.
22-1952, 667 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Jaha Holdings LLC.
I'm surprised that the permit people have anything left in their file cabinets because
Wait.
they've given them all to you.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, permit information. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Is the finding of fact what I'm doing?
No, this one.
Oh, we have days. How
Yeah,
many
this one
days?
was out of compliance for 3 days, so a fine is $75
$75,
and
no
not
continuing is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
22 I'm sorry, top of page 2, 22-1724, 10155, Okeechobee Boulevard, Target Corporation.
This isn't the same one, right? This is a different target? Same one?
Yeah.
Person they should tell is the people out there. You ain't want to ask Mr. Resnick if he wants to come back in and make a couple more dollars.
You're okay. We're at Target.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Tell me how you have service.
All right. The code section is, or I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. The order finding violation, Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, the permit information.
All right, so you have the world's most minimalist signature on a green card. Kind of liking that because it's better than a blank one. All right, what would you like here?
This one was out for 10 days, so a $250 and not continuing fine.
$250, no continuing.
Yes,
Should we
thank
tell
you.
the people out in the hall?
No, not if that's on in the previous order. Yeah. Next one is 23-0048, 151 South State Road 7, L Car Wash RPB 2 LLC.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. Is this the car wash on the west side of the road?
On this one, I don't remember. on this
It's owned by a car wash. It is on the west side of the road. It's the old TD Bank.
Oh, okay.
So
So they sold TD Bank to a car wash place. Cool. And I thought they just went to funeral parlors. What's the one right across the street from here? Diagonal.
Oh, yes, yes.
Lakewood or Lake something? Lake
But that was a bank.
That was a bank. All right, so El Car Wash and the bank. Okay, so it's not the other car wash that's a car wash, but we can see they're really irrigating well because it's growing well. What would you like here?
This one again's been out for not again, but this one's been out for 13 days, so
So
325.
325 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you.
El Car Wash gets to learn how to own property now.
Violation hearings next.
Next.
22-1551, 103 Brookwood Court. Andres Camilo Ramirez Aya and Aramar D. Quintero.
Hey, challenges are fun.
She heard, right?
She's getting her folders together. All right, look at this rapid stack.
Okay. Code section 06190A1 and 5. Roof is in disrepair and the sidewalk is stained. I observed this on 9/22/22. The notice of violation was sent out certified mail 9/28/22 and was signed for, was posted. The notice of hearing was sent out certified mail on 1/26/22 and was also posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing and affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, pictures.
You could make the pictures darker looking. It's a dark day. All right, roof is repair, sidewalk is stained.
This
You
one,
have proven the violation. What would you like?
the section 5, which is the sidewalk,
Has been complied?
it's a finding of fact, right?
Okay.
The remainder, which is 06190A1, we're asking for compliance by June 1st or appearance at the June 14th fine assessment hearing or a $25 a day fine.
All right, in case 22-1551, I find that 06190A15 is a finding of fact. The rest of it's 06190A1 is 6161425.
Just a slight correction, 06190A5, not A15.
Oh, A5.
A5 is the finding of fact.
Okay,
A1
not a
is a
problem.
violation. Thank you.
A1 is the violation. Granted. Next, we
22-1797, 1095 Forest Way, Melissa Butler.
Code section 2657, structure built without a permit. I observed this on 11/10/22. The notice of violation was sent out certified mail on 11/15/22 and was posted. The notice of hearing was mailed out 2/24/22 and was also posted. We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing and affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
And what will we have on this one? Finding of fact. Finding of fact is granted. I just passed an accessory structure ordinance for Glen Ridge.
Oh,
for the
did you really?
First time in their
Yeah.
60-year history.
And we're going to do a brief changing of the guard here for a few moments.
Oh, look, we have the newbie. Please identify yourself for the record because you didn't do it last time.
Anne Marie Puente for the Council for the
There
Village.
we go.
Okay, the next case, 22-1877, 10138 Patience Lane, Suparantagawang and Tharavong Kavi.
You did that on purpose, right? And you didn't throw her into the reduction hearings and make it fun? Okay, go ahead.
Code section 622108.4 and 06190A1. Pavers installed without a permit. The screen on the enclosure is torn. I observed this on 12/20/22. The notice of violation was sent out certified mail on 12/27/22 and was signed for on 12/29/22. The notice of hearing was sent out certified mail on 2/24/23. And I have actual service.
Okay.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, pictures.
All right, along with your actual service, you also have a signed green card and an affidavit of service. So you have service, service, and service. All right.
They're almost done. They're removing the pavers, and she's getting ready to fix the screen.
Okay. What would you like on this? 6-1?
Yes, 6-1 compliance.
6-14, 20-25?
Yes.
Granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case, 22-1878, 10139, Patience Lane, Yanko Castillo and Yaleen Cular Castillo.
Code Section 2657, 622-108.4, shed placed on the property without a permit, pavers installed without a permit. I observed this on 12/21/22. The notice of violation was sent out certified mail on 12/27/22 and was signed for on 12/29/22. Notice of, I thought it was a 7. Oh.
Okay.
Notice of hearing was sent out certified mail 2/24/23 and was posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing and affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, pictures.
Okay. All right. Service via signed green card. And what would you like on this one?
June 1st or the June 14th fine assessment hearing, $25 a day.
Granted.
Thank you.
188 Natchez. I almost bought that house.
Next case, 23-0072. It's just going to pull from the agenda.
Pulled. Okay.
Next case, 23-0194. Also pulled from the agenda.
No, this
No, that one's good.
Oh, excuse me. I apologize.
Prohibited
I'll
signs.
read that again. 23-0194, 9305 Southern Boulevard, TT of Royal Palm, Inc.
Code Section 2041, prohibited signs. I observed this on 3/4/23. The notice of violation was sent out certified mail on 3/9/23 and was signed for on 3/13/23. The notice of hearing was sent out certified mail on 3/21/23, and I have actual service. We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
All right. So, finding of fact? Or finding of fact? Now, these signs, they're what are they called? These are like feather signs?
Be feather signs, yes.
Feather signs. Just want to get the terminology.
Yes.
Because that's what the other CVS was famous for, was feather signs. All right. 22-1858.
Thank you.
Want these back? Okay, they're in order.
Yep, case 20-1858, 119 Martin Circle, David Marcos Escobar.
Code section is 2318B1, prohibited vehicle. I observed this violation on 12/12/23, sent out notice of violation certified mail on 12/15/23, posted that to the property, sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 3/4/23, and it was delivered on 3/8/23. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, USPS tracking. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
All right. In the Exhibit 4 pictures, I have a red tow truck, which is obviously wrong. And there's also a white utility truck. Is that also a prohibited
It's
vehicle?
prohibited because of that tank that it has on it.
Okay,
Any
because of the tank on the
unconcealed load.
top of the vehicle as opposed to...
The boxes are okay, but the tank.
Okay, so it's the
So
tank.
that would
Good.
make
Okay,
that
I just-
prohibited as well.
Gotcha.
And I believe in the front of it, it has some equipment also that's not concealed in between the cab and the bed of the truck as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's also additional equipment that could be covered, but it's not.
Correct.
All right, what would you like?
We're asking compliance about April 27th or the May 10th hearing, $25 a day fee.
475-1025, granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Top of page 4, Case 22-1890402, Lakeview Drive, Max Marshall.
Martial law.
Code
Oh,
Section
that's wrong.
622-105.5, permit 220811 has expired. This was brought to my attention on 12/27/22. I sent out notice of violation, certified mail, on 12/27/22, and it was posted to the property. Sent out notice of hearing, certified mail, on 2/13/23. It's said it was delivered on 2/23/23. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, AS 400 permit information. It was signed but not dated on 2/22, and that's why I posted it.
Oh, that's even more, I'll have to pick a different word, more persnickety than most people would be, because most people would say it's green carded enough. Okay, not a problem. You have service. What would you like?
Compliance by June 1st or the June 14th fine assessment hearing, $25 a day.
Now, Ocean's 1 is cheap. They really should take you guys to lunch. Do a half of their job for them. All right, next, 22-1922.
282 Sandpiper Avenue, Jerome Jeffrey.
Code Sections 14.2, miscellaneous items throughout yard and side of home. I observed this violation on 12/27/23, sent out notice of violation, certified mail, on 12/28/23, posted it to the property, sent out notice of hearing on 3/2/23. It was delivered on 3/8/23. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
But we all have a junk side of our house, right?
Side, front of
Oh,
the
well,
door.
he's got chairs out front. That's just to watch people play. Yeah, I love the refrigerators and things. Yeah, I have a saying that there are yard people and not yard people. This is a not yard people. All right, what would you like on this one?
Passing what, June 1st or the June 14th fine assessment hearing, $25 a day.
Granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case, 22-1948119 Martin Circle, David Marcos Escobar.
Second one for the Escobars.
622-108.4. Is the code section, replace water heater without a permit. I observed this violation on 12/28/22. Sent out notice of violation, certified mail, on 12/28/22. Posted that to the property. I sent out notice of hearing, certified mail, on 3/2/23. It was returned, signed, and not dated on 3/8/23. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, AS 400 permit information.
All right, you have service. What would you like?
June 1st compliance or June 14th, $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
Next case, 22-1976336 La Mancha Avenue, Sharon and Vincent Douglas.
Code section is 124C 1540 06198 3 and 5. Recycle bins in public view, palms and swell without a right-of-way permit, sidewalk and bottom of the driveway are stained, the driveway apron. I'd like to enter this was observed on 12/29/22, sent out notice of violation, certified mail, on 12/30/22, posted that to the property, sent out notice of hearing, certified mail, on 12/16/23, and posted that to the property as well. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Well, they're trying to protect those palms with a lot of collards and things. What would you like?
Special Magistrate, just for the record, to be clear, 12-4C and 15-40, you want to ask for a finding of fact.
And that's what, the recycling bins, and what are those two
That's
sections?
recycle bin in public view and palms in the swell without the right-of-way permit. They removed them.
And we're just left with the sidewalk and apron and driveway stained.
Correct.
All
So
right.
the 06-19A35, we're asking compliance by June 1st, or the fine assessment hearing June 14th, $25 a day fine.
All right, so 12.4C and 15.40 is a finding of fact. 06-190A35 is 6-1, 614.25 granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case, 23-0011, 212 Cordova Circle, Martin Azanza and Michelle Vega Azanza.
Code Sections 12.4C, garbage can in public view. I observed this violation on 1/6/23. Sent out notice of violation certified mail on 1/13/23. It was delivered on 1/31/23. Sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 2/16/23. It was received on 3/1/23. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
All right, is it finding of fact or
Yes,
a?
please.
Yes, finding of fact.
You had to make Steve get out of the mail van to go serve these things. He's getting kind of old. I know your mail. I know the mail. All right, so next we have Progress Residential of 23-0053.
Yes, 175 Martin Circle, Progress Residential Borough, 7 LLC.
Code Sections 12.4C, 14.2, garbage can in public view. Miscellaneous items in public view.
All right,
Hold
and
on.
we have.
I observed this violation on 1/24/23. Sent out notice of hearing or notice of violation on 1/26/23. It was signed for on 2/1/23. Sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 2/24/23. It was returned on 3/1/23. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
And you get a finding of fact. I'm just looking at the wonderful Progress Residential flipping between companies for $10 on the deeds. Yeah, okay. What would you like on this? Is this 61614 or something else?
Yes, please.
Yes, just a finding of
Granted.
fact.
Oh, finding of fact.
No, not even
Got
paying
it.
attention.
Yeah, went from one Progress Residential to a different Progress Residential.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, for the next case, top of page 5, case number 23-0059, 124 Cortez Avenue, Patricia Beckert.
Code Section 2318B3 and 2317, parking on front lawn and parking on or over the sidewalk. I observed this violation on 1/24/23. Sent out notice of violation certified mail on 1/26/23. It was delivered on 2/29, or yeah,
Yeah,
23,
somewhere.
I sent out notice of hearing certified mail on February 8th of 23. I posted that to the property and like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. And Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Finding of fact.
Yes, that's my
Granted.
Thank you.
I gave them a
Next case, 23-0097, 151 Heron Parkway, SRP Sub LLC.
Code Sections 14.206-190A1, 1557. Miscellaneous items in public view. Structure stained and in disrepair. High grass and weeds. Observed this violation on 1/30/23. Sent out notice of violation. Certified mail on 2/1/23. Got that signed on 2/6/23. Sent out notice of hearing. Certified mail on 3/6/23. They got that on 3/9/23. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, so BLE flipped it to SRP Sub LLC. All these names I know. They're all like our neighborhood flipper / renter types. All right, you have service via green card. What would you like on this one?
We're asking for a finding of fact for this one.
Margaret's scary. Look at all these people she's getting to comply. Got 2 more. I got 1 filed now.
Great, thank you. Case number 23-0102, which is pulling that from the agenda.
Okay.
Next case, 23-0108, 414 La Mancha Avenue, IH6 property, Florida LP.
Code Section 14.4, disabled vehicles. I observed this violation on 131/23, sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 2/1/23. It was delivered on 2/3/23. Sent out notice of hearing on 2/16/23. They got that on 2/18/23. Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Another finding of fact. I'm
Yes,
just looking
Yes, please.
through all these things and going, yeah, I can see these people. They bought the house. They got foreclosed on in 2012 because that was part of the massive foreclosure thing, and then it got flipped back and forth by developer, speculator folk for like the next 7 years. Ain't crap. All right, let the record reflect that I
We have one more on the addendum.
Oh God, an addendum?
Yeah, one more.
Oh, you hid that one on me. Okay,
It's
addendum.
case 20. It's a health and safety abatement hearing, case 22-1743, 10719 Southern Boulevard, SST 210719 Southern Boulevard, LLC, PTA EX number 8665.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the order requesting abatement. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. I'm sorry, the notice of hearing requesting for abatement. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, the pictures. Previously brought this to hearing, and we have an order and a fine running on this. But at this point, the potholes are a health safety issue.
Okay, this is on a private road.
Yeah. Do you need to see your previous orders or your violation?
No.
Just so that you know that you already did find that I notified them of the potholes?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
So this is like in the middle of a shopping thing or something.
No, this is on 103rd Avenue. It's a private road. And there's huge potholes right by the 7-Eleven and just north of that. And we're not going to cut them and patch them the way they need to be patched, but we need to get
something in there to keep
something
this-
in there.
Fill them, right. The photos are on the screen. They're pretty giant.
No, I saw them.
Yeah.
As long as you can justify legally going onto their property, you'll have an order from me signed that says you
Yeah,
can
this
fix
one
it.
we're just asking for a one-time abatement. So we're
Yes.
asking for, in the future, we'll ask for a recovery of our abatement costs, whatever those are, plus the 206 and administrative costs, and we'll reset this for fine assessment on May 10th.
All right, so do I have an order to sign?
You don't have one. You'll get it as part of your pile when you come to sign all of them.
Okay, that's right, granted.
All right,
Thank you.
And then, last but not least, Ms. Hunter has minutes of the March 8th, 2023 meeting? Oh, well, then we can't announce it at the meeting. Okay. Is there anything further to be done?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
7:32.
Thank you, sir.
This was so much fun. Hunter, I did not steal your pen.